us. Are you
Just do it nice and chill. Is this a video thing?
Yeah. If you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we good?
Yeah, go ahead whenever you're ready.
All right, everybody. This is John, House of Tortured Souls, Baltimore Soundstage, Baltimore, Maryland. I'm here with the one and only Alan Robert. Alan, thanks for joining us. Alan's been gracious enough to take a couple minutes before the show tonight, before Soundstage, or I mean before sound check. You guys.
We just checked, actually.
You just checked. Yep. That's right. We saw Joey on stage. I actually have chills right now. I have been watching this man for 20 years performing and listening to you.
Making me feel old.
No, oh my God, hey, you don't look it, trust me. So, musician, writer, singer, artist.
I do great laundry. I fold them real nice.
I would prefer you
Towels,
stop by my house.
ask my wife. Everything is in order. I don't do windows.
Well, then we're screwed because she knows I don't do them either. So what's next?
Vacuuming.
Vacuuming after we learn how to do the windows properly.
Yes.
All right, so what I want to talk to you guys about, obviously, Life of Agony. Been following you guys for over 20 years.
Yeah, we're going on, next year will be 30 years of the band.
30 years, wow.
1989 we started.
The energy seems to be blowing up with you guys as a unit like it was 25, 30 years ago, if not more so.
Yeah.
I've been watching you guys through social media, and the energy that you guys have, the smiles, the connection that you guys have, it's like you're a brand new band.
Yeah, it feels that way.
What do you contribute all that to after all this time together? It's either a marriage of hate, and you're doing it just because you need the money, or you're honestly doing it for the love, which is obviously what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's the love, and you know, we've been friends for so long, and now with Veronica joining, we just have this kind of newfound energy.
Right.
It's just such a pleasure to be with one another and to, you know, to tour and to write together and to eat and live together, and we're all getting along so well.
And how's the response been being back from the fan base, pulling the old heads out, pulling new fans in? What's the crowd response been like comparatively to 25, 30 years ago when you first hit the stage?
We played New York last night, and the intensity
Yeah.
was probably up there with some of our best shows in our prime.
Really?
And one of my favorite shows in New York.
Wow.
And
Playing at home, man, that's got to be.
it was
that's gotta
just
be
it was
something.
electric.
Right.
It really was electric, and you know, I think part of it, you know, going out this year, we made a commitment to ourselves and to our fans to really listen and hear what people wanted us to play.
Right.
We saw some lists online of fans' favorite songs. We started choosing those ones and putting them right back in the set. Songs we haven't played in 20 years.
Right.
And some songs we never play live. So we're playing longer. We're playing more songs we never played. We're switching it up. We're trying new things. And it's a lot of fun for us. And it's definitely paying off because fans are digging it.
That's awesome.
We're about to go to Europe next week. We're taking out Billy Bio from Biohazard.
Sure, I was reading about that.
And it was our family, and
Right.
and we have some surprises in store with that tour too.
I can only imagine. Now, will you be doing any American shows with Billy that you know of?
None that I could announce right here.
Okay, so we're gonna find out about that.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about Lyrically. You guys first hit the scene, River Runs Red. Holy shit. I had never listened to and read lyrics that were so emotionally profound in my life. And they really hit a lot of people that I knew personally. They could really reflect and relate to them. And throughout the years from that and to Ugly and everything, the music stayed true, the lyrics stayed true. You guys matured as a band musically and changed slightly from album to album, but you always had that same, I don't want to call it ugly feel, it was just very real, lyrically. And I mean, I'll be the first to admit, there's been a couple songs that I would just replay over and over on certain bad days growing up, and man, I could live through some of those songs. What inspired? Where did a lot of that come from?
Well, especially in the beginning, you know, we were young teenagers, growing up in a lot of us broken homes and surrounded by alcohol abuse, domestic abuse, drugs, you know, family members in and out of jail, going to schools where there was a lot of violence. And I think that being surrounded by that, we just tried to kind of, in a cathartic way, give each other psychotherapy, and that all came out in the lyrics.
Right.
Just from bonding as friends. You know, I think of a song like This Time where it's really based on Joey's relationship with his dad.
Right.
And being so close and turning that kind of dark situation into a song that actually has brought so much positivity to people who can relate to that kind of emotion. That's the constant thing that we keep getting over all these years, is that, you know, these songs made me feel like I wasn't alone and got me through a dark time.
Right.
And so we've consistently made that connection with people from record to record, even though the albums sonically sound different.
Sure.
Because I think they represent who we were at those moments in time, and
Right.
I think that's a healthy thing. We never tried to make River Runs Red Part 2,
Right.
and you know, we just went with what was organically happening in our lives at the time.
Great job with everything, seriously. About is moving in a different direction in your life, your artwork, your books. I have with me Beauty of Horror 3, the newest edition of Alan's adult horror coloring book. What brought you from musician to sitting at home one day thinking, I'm going to do a comic book, I'm going to do a graphic novel, I'm going to do a coloring book? What transpired?
Well, I was an artist long before music came into my life, and I'm not professionally trained as a musician. I kind of picked it up as a teenager because I liked Metallica and Slayer, and tried to learn songs, you know, through tablature and stuff like that. And all our friends were hanging out in the schoolyard, playing guitars and drinking beer and just into metal and hardcore and stuff. And that's how I got into music. But I started drawing since I'm 6 years old, and I remember going to see Star Wars in the theaters in 1977.
Sure.
And rushing home to like draw all the creatures in the cantina, you know.
Right.
Because, you know, you didn't have video cassettes of the movie to go watch it. So the only way for me to remember it was to draw it. And it started then. And all through school, that's what I excelled at, was the art programs and stuff. And I eventually got a scholarship to School of Visual Arts, and I really wanted to be a comic book artist, like a penciler or an inker for Marvel or DC. That was my goal.
Sure.
And all throughout college, you know, that's when the band kind of took off. It was the early 90s. Like I said, we started in 89. I graduated in 93. That's when Rivers came out. And so I had to make a choice, you know, jump in the van with these guys, give it a shot, or start taking my portfolio around to the comic book companies.
Right.
And that was very intimidating.
I can imagine.
Especially back then, that was like before computers for me and everything. And I said, okay, let's see what this music thing has.
Right.
And then 20 years later, I mean, I was drawing all that time, but there was never enough time to really devote to developing a comic series, even though I had a lot of ideas, even in college. And so in college, I developed Wire Hangers, which was my first series that I released all the way in 2010.
Right.
I had never forgot about it, and I always just wanted to get out of my system. And I actually got the publishing deal through IDW through connection on Twitter. And before you know it, I was just cranking out series after series every year.
Right.
And then eventually, Beauty of Horror was something different.
Right.
Yeah, Beauty of Horror has actually been a bigger seller than all the graphic novels.
So do you think after the tour, maybe a year, 2, 5, 10 years even down the road, you're just going to say, that's it, hanging up the bass, putting the CDs away for a while, and you're just going to become more focused on your artwork and your writings and so forth?
No, I like the balance, honestly.
Right.
You know, and there's, it's kind of cool because all the artwork and stuff, it's just me in my studio drawing for
Right.
hours and hours by myself.
Right.
And the music, I get to collaborate with people and
You get the best of both worlds.
and see the electricity of the crowd and stuff,
Right.
and the excitement, and then I get to mellow out and kind of lose myself in my artwork. You know?
Right.
So I like that.
Well, what inspires you when you're doing your art? Anything you think about, certain tones of music you listen to?
It really depends on what I'm trying to do. You know, with the comic book stuff, there's a lot of kind of like seeing scenes in a movie,
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost like storyboards in that sense.
Sure.
Directing a film.
Right.
So I try and think of, well, how would this be shot if it was live action?
Okay.
With the adult coloring books, that's a whole different mindset and a different technique altogether, because it's like, well, what would inspire someone to want to color this page?
Right.
And to really change it up, I'm, you know, now my 4th book in, and really trying not to repeat myself. So trying different themes, like we have a new Christmas book coming out.
Right.
It's actually coming out on Halloween. And we've been working on something really special that we're going to release at New York Comic Con, which is
Of course, New York. Right.
which is a fantastic claymation. It's kind of like an R-rated Nightmare Before Christmas, but
Really?
yeah, it's a short claymation by Trent Chai, who's this really talented animator.
Mm-hmm.
And he created all the characters in the Beauty of Horror Christmas book. And
Okay.
we just kind of
Gonna bring it all to life.
bring the rat to the North Pole
Nice.
in a big way, yeah.
It's a shame that you guys didn't get here a couple hours earlier during the day, because 3 blocks down actually was the Baltimore Comic Con
Oh, is that
this
right?
weekend. Yeah, but
too bad.
always next time. So I see you're wearing the Immortal Classic. Are you looking forward to, for those of you who can't see it, John Carpenter's Halloween t-shirt right here.
Yeah.
Yay or nay? Are you looking forward to the new film coming out?
Oh,
Your honest
absolutely. You
opinion.
know, I'm any horror film I'll check out. You
Okay.
know? And to see Jamie Lee Curtis back, that's just awesome.
Any certain genre of horror that you...
I love
Lean more-
psychological.
Okay.
The Shining's my favorite
Sure.
horror film.
Right, okay.
Hereditary was a great one this year.
We
Yeah.
did enjoy that. That was a
Yeah,
good
very
film.
Kubrick in the filmmaking. Of course, my buddy Corinne Hardy directed The Nun, and I was thankful to be able to do the poster art for the movie.
I did not realize that. Wow, congratulations.
Just they had a poster contest,
Mm-hmm.
and my artwork happened to be selected by Warner Brothers for the film, so I was really honored to be part of that.
Very cool. Very, very cool. That's honestly all I've got. Alan Robert, thank you so much for your time.
Anytime.
I'm looking forward to the show tonight. I don't want to hold you up any longer than I already have. Any closing words that you want to give to our readers, our watchers? We're going to be doing a written on the website. This will be on all social medias,
Okay.
especially YouTube. So anybody aspiring for artist, musician, Halloween horror, anything that you want to close out the night with?
All I have to say is, you know, the things that have kept me doing this all these years were things that I loved. And whether people thought they were stupid or immature or whatever, you know, I'm 40-something years old wearing Halloween t-shirts, and I got no problem with that.
Right.
You know, do what you love. That's what life's all about. And surround yourself with people that are like-minded and
people enjoy the things they do too.
That's great. You guys, this is John. How's the Tortured Souls? Talk to you guys soon. Keep it evil.